You ever had that itching feeling that you know you want to break up with somebody and you keep thinking and thinking about how you're going to do it, when you're going to do it, and what is the outcome going to be? So that's what we talk about. But before we go ahead and get into that, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and definitely share. Now, the journey of breakup, or the journey of empowering breakup and self-discovery. I'm trying to remember the title of this. The journey of empowering breakup and self-discovery. So, one of the things that I want to talk about is it's okay to break up with people. It's okay, whether it's friendships, organization, or it's a relationship. It's cool to break up with people, especially if you feel like that they are not even providing the benefit of helping, not helping, but your success in life. And sometimes you just feel incompatible. You could be incompatible with an organization. You could be incompatible with a newfound friend. You find out that their life is just a little bit more exciting than you would like. And then sometimes you get into relationships and you find out later on that the person is just not compatible. And you don't want to no longer have to waste your time or their time, and you just want to go about it. Just break them up. So let's talk about the pre-breakup. Realizing that you may be incompatible with somebody and then you decide that you want to break up with them. But y'all been having such a good time and things aren't going well in their eyes, but you realize that you want to break up with them. Now, I know some people that would just cut them off and say, you know what, I don't want to talk to you no more. Don't text me, don't call me, we're good, I'm good. And they leave it at that. And you have those that send text messages, you have those that send emails. You may have somebody that does it over iPhone, or you have somebody that just ghosts you altogether, and then you just don't want to talk to them anymore. Now, my question is do you give them valid reasons for why you don't want to talk to them no more? Do you tell them that y'all just not compatible, it's not working out? Does it happen during an argument? Some people break up during an argument. The argument gets so heated and intense, just like, what? I want out. I can find better. Or is it something that you just continue to deal with before ultimately you run into the gambit of just, I'm done, I'm fed up, I don't want to do this no more? So, is it something like that? Now, leading up to the breakup, what is your mindset? What is the overall? You walk into a situation, going to their house, or they come to your house, and you may not even be thinking that you're gonna break up with them. I once approached a young lady, and I asked her, I said, you want to do this and you want to do that, and I just feel like we don't have the time and availability to do that. And I'm gonna be honest. I dated a young lady that wanted to walk around bare, in her birthday skin, around my house, and she couldn't do that. My son was there. And that was very restricting for her. So one of her things was that she wanted to spend more time at her place, which we did that, and I considered the idea. I'm trying to think of the word. Compromise. I compromised time and time again, and eventually I just had to ask, is there an issue, with my son? I know this is something that you want to do, but at the same time, my son was, of young age. And I couldn't always find a babysitter, and I couldn't always leave him at home by himself. And in some instances, so what was really the big deal? And that led to our breakup. And that was one of many conversations that we had about our relationship, because we had vastly different perspectives on how we approach life. She didn't want to be part of the rat race. I was more of a achiever, wanted to accomplish and excel, and she felt like she was just something on the checklist to just check off the box and say, hey, you have it, you made it, and that's not what she wanted to do. So we had very different perspectives on how we approach life. So, and that led to the breakup. The conversations lead to breakup, the misunderstandings lead to breakup, miscommunications lead to breakup. And in any situation, when you're heading into these breakups, sometimes even knowingly know that you're going to go break up with somebody because you know that the situation is unhealthy. You know that the environment is not something that you want going into the future. I know when dating, going into the future, like, it's just always going to be the constant. And people can change, people can grow. But the major fear I have is divorce. So, and that's another ideal breakup. And some of those are listed under irreconcilable differences. Is not being able to get along, not mashing well. Whether it's the person cheated, whether it's for financial reasons, whether y'all just grew apart, or there's no longer any support in the relationship for y'all to stay together. But going into that breakup, like, how long are you lasting before you're saying that you're completely done with this relationship? Now, in the height of all of that, in the conversations, the fights, the back and forth, trying to figure out whether you want to get back together, or do you want to stay together and keep going forward, you go into the post-breakup stage. Now, for me, the post-breakup stage is a very busy time because I just throw myself into my work. I throw myself into my work at work. I throw myself into whatever projects I have afterwards. I don't want to sit at home and dwell on the situation. I have to be out, about, active, and not thinking about the situation over and over and over and over again. Then in post-breakup, you get phone calls, you get text messages, you may get social media bombed, or however the case is. Whatever happens in post-breakup, I've heard, revenge porn and a few other things that occur in post-breakups. Busted windows, damaged cars. Some people get really hurt. Whether they've been cheated on or they don't understand why they've been broken up with. It's very intense. I've been lucky not to be able to be in no situation where my windows got busted and, over a vengeful ex or anything like that. So, but post-breakup, I have seen some horror stories. I've seen things in the news. Some people's houses got firebombed. Some people's parents got killed in some of these situations. Drive-by shootings, just a lot of stuff that happened in post-breakup. So one of the things I want to say about post-breakup is definitely being mindful of how you break up with somebody, because the post-breakup situation is ridiculous and you just don't know how a person is going to react. So when I'm going to break up with somebody, I try to be as understanding and as soft as possible when I'm breaking up with them, so I don't have the retaliation that comes behind that in post-breakup. Now, most things I get in post-breakup is text message of, well, can we talk about it? I still don't understand. And by that time, I'm kind of like, I don't really want to deal with it. So by the time I get in the pre-breakup, I'm already kind of separating myself from the situation and becoming numb, getting my reasons and my excuses together, and kind of like, all right, I think it's coming. And I'm the kind of person where I've talked to you about the situation, and if I don't see any improvement, then I'm kind of like, okay, well, I feel like as an adult, I'm telling you my concerns. You're not adhering to my concerns. And I find it kind of disrespectful that I'm taking the time to have the conversation with you and you're not doing it, you're not adhering to it. Now, some people may feel different, like, man, you want to just probably give more chances, nobody changes overnight. You're absolutely right. But me, if there was a conversation with me about a joke I had said, if there was a conversation with me about anything that I did, then I would remove it out of my bank, my memory bank, my actions, everything, to be considerate of my partner. If your partner is not that considerate and it's like a consistent or a constant conversation, little things is okay, but things that irk my nerves, no, it's hard to bend on those. Like, it's a little hard to bend on those. Like, I don't like people eating in my bed. it bothers me to the core. It really bothers me to the core because I don't like crumbs. I've slept in a young lady's bed one time and she had crumbs in the bed, and it was very disturbing, revolting, disgusting, and nasty. I can't do it. It even now, just thinking about it, it just bothers me that somebody eats in the bed and they leave crumbs in the bed and they sleep on the crumb. Back to post-breakup. So when it comes to post-breakup, I like to think of the consequences that may happen, and I don't know, it's a strategy of mine. It's just how I think. I gotta think about the pre-breakup and then think about the post-breakup, and then in the post-breakup I gotta figure out how much retaliation is going to happen in post-breakup because I didn't do the pre-breakup right. I know it's a lot that's going on here, but bear with me. But I try to just understand that in post-breakup, I don't want to be that individual that doesn't understand their feelings, completely cut them off, and then they're sitting there trying to figure out their life because I no longer want to be with them, which they're going to have to figure it out anyways, because I personally, at that point, I really don't care. But I want to be able to, it's kind of like an exit interview. I kind of want you to just exit quietly and go about your business. And let's go ahead and just separate, like the parting of the Red Sea. Let's go ahead and separate, and not when the Red Sea came back together, but I don't want to come back together. Just go your way, I go mine, and we'll do just fine. So another thing that happens in post-breakup is you may lean on each other for sex and texting and drunk texting and everything under the sun. That's something that you want to stay away from. Now, I have fell into those situations time and time again, and for the times I have fell into them, I regret every time, because it's like leaving, because it turns into the conversation of, well, if I'm good enough to have sex with, why am I not good enough to be with? And that is a valid question. It's a very valid question. But when it comes to desires and worth, your worth is not good enough to be in a relationship, but my desire for sex is because you're familiar and you're right here and you're accessible. And I know that sounds bad, but I think on both sides of the fence, that is the feeling. Your worth of being in a relationship is not there for me, but the desire to need a body and a fix and a release is higher than what your value and your worth to me is, because now your value and your worth has plummeted to a certain degree where I don't see you as worthy of being in a relationship, but I see you as a means to an end for sex. And I know that is like bad on so many levels, but how the case is, that's kind of what happens in post-breakup. And sometimes it leads back into the relationship, and other times it just further disintegrates more of your stuff, because you have told this person, or you're telling this person that you're good enough for this, but you're not good enough for that. And that is a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people, because when you go from a relationship down to not necessarily a prostitute, but you go into the friends with benefits stage, then that whatever person, whether it's male or female, start to feel like they're being used for what they have to offer, and they're not worth anything else. So my suggestion would be to stay away from that as much as possible. Stay away from it as far as possible, and just don't deal with it at all, because it's really nothing but trouble in that instance. And it's hard to be able to tell somebody to accept this sexual session and forget all about the relationship, because it's going to bring back feelings, emotions, memories. So I just say avoid it altogether. Just go get you a sex toy, or go jump on somebody else until, not jump on nobody else. You know what? You're grown. Do what the hell you want to do. But do something other than go back to the person that you just broke up with for sexual desire, because once you start doing that, it's going to bring back so much more of what you left behind that it's going to kind of bleed into that. It's going to be difficult. So I would say get away from HUD. And while you're getting away from it, learn a new you, because you have had experience in that breakup, you had experience in that relationship, you have learned things in that relationship that you may have not thought about. You have learned things in that situation and gained experiences that you wouldn't have gained had you not done that relationship at all. So get to know the new you, because you came out of this situation, you went in as one particular person, and in that relationship you changed, became another person. So learn the new you. Go ahead and discover new hobbies, discover something different. I was talking to a friend of mine, and they never had went to the movies by themselves. Now me, I went to the movie by myself. I got tired of waiting on people. I got tired of adhering to other people's schedules, needs, desires, all that stuff, because I can't stand it. I don't like going to the movies with any of my female friends, because they have certain needs and desires that I don't want to deal with, like paying for my ticket. No, I don't want to pay for your ticket. No. Are you going to buy me stuff at the concession stand? No, I'm not buying you stuff at the concession stand. Can you hold my covers? I really don't want to hold your covers. What's happening in the movie? Why are you talking during the movie? I am having flashbacks. I had one friend that had all the sound effects in the world when it came to watching the movie. I mean, every and huh that they could do to everything that happened in the movie was so embarrassing. I would never, ever go to the movies with them again. I don't even care. They can ask me to go to the movies and I will quickly say no. I have a list of banned people of who I do not go to the movies with. They're banned. I go by myself. And if you check out my other show where I took a solo trip to Atlanta, I've been on trips with other people. I was just talking to this with a friend of mine. I do not want to adhere to other people's schedule or what they want to do. Because here's the thing. I've been in situations where I wanted to do stuff and the person I was with didn't want to do it. But they wanted to go do something else and they wanted me to go and do it with them, but didn't want to do what I wanted to do. So I've kind of gotten to the point where it's like, okay, I did my first solo trip. I want to do another solo trip, and I want to just go out there and just live and do all the things that I want to do and not have to wait around for somebody else. I don't want to be blamed for what we couldn't do because maybe I got too drunk the night before, or we had too much, or I had too much fun the other day. So they're like, well, you took the light off of me and everything. I don't want to have to be bothered with that at all. I'd rather just go by myself. I've had a taste of flying solo. I've had a taste of going to a movie by myself. I had a taste of going to dinner by myself and spending as much money as I want on whatever I want without having to consider anybody else's time, opinion, or desire to go where I want to go. So I implore you to try new hobbies, learn your new self, build on top of your new self as you discover and find comfort in who you are. Be comfortable and love you, because nobody is going to find comfort and love you the way you want to be loved. And once you find that comfort and love for you, then you can easily accept somebody in to being around the new you. And it will make it so much more easier to walk away from people knowing that you love you more than you love them. Because if you love you more than you love them, it is so much easier to walk away from somebody that does not have your best interests at heart, that wants you to be endowed and involved in their life to an extent where you're literally separating yourself from who you are. And and you don't want to separate yourself from who you are, you should be in a relationship and still be two distinct people in that relationship. And the point in time that you cannot be two distinct people in a relationship where you have your hobbies, they have theirs, you have your schedule, but y'all can still come together and do things together, but y'all can also be individuals separately, that is an issue. So you gotta find comfort in yourself. You gotta find growth from that relationship. So this is what I implore you to do, is to go ahead and learn the new you after a relationship. Spend time with yourself. Find comfort in yourself. Do things by yourself. You will be amazed at all the people that you meet when you do things solo. I have ran into great people just going out by myself. You'll be amazed how many people are willing to talk to you when you're by yourself versus when you're with someone else. And not to say that it's a dangerous world or, everybody's gonna talk to you just to be talking to you, but I have had great conversations with people that I had literally met, whether I was at a bar, restaurant, or whatever, because I was just by myself. And I was able to have great conversation with the waitress and have great conversation with the bartender, because when you're by yourself, they're just more inclined to talk to you when you're by yourself versus when you're with somebody else, unless both y'all engage in conversation with them. But I definitely implore you to find comfort in yourself. Go to the movies, try something new by yourself. Don't wait on anybody else to come and be there. This is growth. This is change. Post breakup sometimes can be sad, it can be lonely, it can be depressing, it can be frustrating. But you have to get out there and find and learn that new you. Find comfort in being with just you. Find comfort in doing things by yourself. Love yourself. And once you figure all of that stuff out, you could be able to accept somebody 100% and know when you're genuinely loved and know when you fictitiously loved. And you'll be able to walk away with no problem. This is MNG. I'll catch you on the next go around. Peace.